President Biden's decision to issue a full and unconditional pardon to his son Hunter, garnering swift reaction from GOP lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
Under this administration, they have tossed out the scales of justice and gotten rid of our constitutional republic's rule of law.
Some questioning the time period the pardon includes, offenses which he has committed or may have committed from January 1st, 2014 to December 1st, 2024. This press release announcing Hunter Biden as director of the Ukrainian gas company Burisma sent out on May 12, 2014. His work with Burisma, as well as Chinese company CEFC and others, at the heart of his tax case in which he pleaded guilty.
He had a lot of foreign investments, and it was unclear where all the money came and went, and he did not register as an agent for a foreign country. So there were other possible charges out there.
Special counsel.
This story is huge right now. Everyone's talking about it, and everyone's losing their mind over this. Joe Biden is gonna pardon his son, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden has been accused of many different crimes, such as money laundering and drugs and many other things. And right now, Joe Biden plans to pardon his son because his political career is basically over. And despite the thing that he said in the past, that he was not gonna pardon his son, that nobody is above the law, etc. Now that his political career is over, he can basically do what he wants with no repercussion at all. Very sad to see.
David Weiss could still issue a report and reveal if other charges were in the works, though they would not impact Hunter Biden, despite multiple statements like this from his father.
I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
Still, the president now says the cases against his son were politically motivated and has always maintained his family comes first.
My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, Joey, family is the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Some Democrats, though, worried about the precedent a pardon may set ahead of the next Donald Trump administration.
Yeah, that's a great worry to have. What is gonna happen with Donald Trump now? If Joe Biden pardons his son, who is Donald Trump gonna pardon next? So let's hear how Donald Trump reacted to this news.
All right, let's go to CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes joins us from West Palm Beach, Florida, with more on this presidential pardon. What are we hearing from the president-elect and his allies about this decision?
Well, President-elect Trump, Liz, responded rather quickly last night. He said, okay, but what about pardoning the January 6th defendants? This is something that Trump has long said he would like to do, pardon some or all of the hundreds of individuals who have been, in some cases, tried, in some cases just charged with scaling the walls of the Capitol on January 6th, 2020.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Now that Joe Biden is pardoning his son, Trump would want to pardon the January 6 offenders. That would make total sense for me. Yeah, I totally agree with what you would do well now.
21. No connection necessarily between Hunter Biden and the January 6th defendants. They were charged with very different crimes. The only similarity is that Hunter Biden is someone who Joe Biden cares a lot about and wanted to pardon, and the January 6th defendants also hold a very special place in Trump's heart, and he has talked about them a lot on the campaign trail. Those around him, however, have been more critical. In fact, Donald Trump's own son, Donald Trump Jr., said, we always knew that Biden was going to do this, no matter how many times he said he wasn't. It was only a question of when it would be politically advantageous to him and not have an impact on the election. And of course, the election has now come and gone. And
yeah, he's a very smart guy. He always knew that Joe Biden was going to do this. It was only a matter of when, and I totally agree with this.
And Donald Trump has won. And so the Trump team is making the case that this is all about timing for Joe Biden, and that contrary to what he has insisted, that this is something that he always planned to do, despite all of his denials.
Interesting that they would be so critical, Nancy, considering the president-elect not immune to pardons here. He granted Charles Kushner, his son-in-law's father, during his first term in office. He pardoned him. He also tapped Kushner, by the way, to serve as his ambassador ambassador to France in his second term. Can you walk us through the precedent here to pardon family members? And Trump, by the way, also not alone. The other presidents have pardoned family members.
Right. It's unusual to see a president pardoning his son, but we certainly have seen presidents pardon close family members. Bill Clinton, for
Yeah, it's the first time in history that a president will pardon his son, and that's kind of premiere, and Joe Biden is facing huge backlash regarding this. And here is a video about the bipartisan backlash from President Biden pardon.
Tonight, reaction and backlash to the president's decision to pardon his son, Hunter Biden. The sweeping pardon effectively protects Hunter Biden from any government investigations for all past offenses and anything he might have done. NBC's Alice Barr has those details.
Bipartisan pushback today to President Biden's decision to issue his son Hunter a sweeping pardon for any offenses he, quote, has committed or may have committed or taken part in over the past 11 years, including but not limited to all offenses charged or prosecuted. It comes just before Hunter Biden was due to be sentenced this month in both the federal gun case he was convicted of and the tax evasion charges he pled guilty to. The president not answering reporters' questions overnight. In a statement, he referenced Republican attacks on his son, writing that while he believes in the justice system, he also believes raw politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice.
Yeah, but he pled guilty to the charges, so that means he is guilty, right? So it was not politically motivated at all. It was just justice doing what it should do.
First Lady offering her support. But it's a sharp reversal from what President Biden had said for months.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes, I will not pardon him.
Republicans slamming the president's decision, President-elect Trump calling it an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Some Democrats speaking out, including Senator Michael Bennet, writing, quote, President Biden's decision put personal interest ahead of duty and further erodes Americans' faith that the justice system is fair and equal for all.
I agree with this.
As the incoming Trump administration prepares to take the reins at the Department of Justice, the White House press secretary, who also repeatedly denied a pardon was coming, offered this context.
It didn't seem like his political opponents would let go of it. It didn't seem like they would move on.
President Biden made the announcement after a family Thanksgiving, an intensely personal choice with deep political pitfalls. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC.
Yeah. So now that his political career is over, he doesn't have to face the repercussion. He doesn't care about his political career anymore and what people think of this. So now he can pardon his son. It was only a matter of timing, unfortunately. And he's facing huge backlash from both sides of the aisle regarding this. So let's hear a little bit more about this.
Okay, our Nancy Cordes is following the response from the Trump team, and she joins us now. So you heard a little bit of that discussion that I had with Willie James, Nancy, which is the language that the president used, which is eerily similar to the language that former President Trump and his supporters have used when it comes to the Justice Department, the politicization of the Justice Department, almost as if this is a witch hunt against his son, when in the past the president had told you and other reporters in the world that he would stand by the decision of the Department of Justice. So now, how is President-elect Trump reacting to the news?
Well, he reacted very quickly, Vlad, and interestingly, online he posted this. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the January 6th hostages who have been imprisoned for years? Now, you might wonder, what's the connection between Hunter Biden, who was essentially tried on tax evasion, and these January 6th defendants who have been accused of a variety of things, including assaulting police officers? The answer is there is no direct connection, except for the fact that about 200 January 6th defendants have already been sentenced. Hundreds more are awaiting trial, and Donald Trump has repeatedly indicated for years now that if he were to be reelected, he would pardon some, if not all of them. And so
Yeah, that kind of makes sense that he would do this.
So this is Trump saying essentially, okay, Biden has pardoned somebody who he cares about in a controversial way, and perhaps this opens the door for me to do the same thing. Now, there are Democrats, Vlad, who say that the fact that Biden has done this basically opens the door for Donald Trump to do the same thing and pardon these January 6 defendants who, again, have been accused, some of them, of violent crimes. But then there are other Democrats who argue, you know, Trump was going to do this regardless of whether Biden made a move to pardon his own son or not.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Trump was going to do this regardless what Joe Biden would do. And here we have Joe Walsh, who turns on Joe Biden after he pardons Hunter. So let's hear what he has to say about this.
What do you make of all of this? What is likely to be the response on Capitol Hill to this breaking news?
Good to be with you. See, I told you so. They're all like that. So the next time any of us complain about anything Trump does, this pardon is just deflating. For those of us who have been out there for a few years now yelling about what a unique threat Donald Trump is, for Joe Biden to do something like this, Trump, nobody's above the law, we've been screaming. Well, Joe Biden just made clear his son Hunter is above the law. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth, we've been screaming. Joe Biden repeatedly lied about this. The politicization of the justice system. Donald Trump and his people have been screaming. Well, that's exactly what Biden said here.
Joe, is this a politics of purity? I mean, we had Donald Trump pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio during his term, and there wasn't a lot of hue and cry about that. And this is a father who saw his first wife killed, his daughter killed in a car crash, his two young sons survive. One goes on to have real difficulties with addiction. Another dies because of cancer. This is a family that's really troubled. I mean, yes, he said he was.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter at all. Even if he had trouble in the past, everyone has his own problem. Everyone has his own trouble in life. That doesn't mean you are above the law and then you can do whatever you want without repercussion. It doesn't work that way, and it shouldn't work that way.
Wasn't going to do this, but did anyone ever believe that that was the case? I mean, I would have put good money on this happening. Like, are many people going to be surprised that a father who is also the president would do this for his son?
I don't know that people will be surprised, because you're right. Joe Biden repeatedly said he wouldn't do this. So he repeatedly lied. But this just furthers the cynicism that people have about politics. And that cynicism strengthens Trump. Because Trump can just say, I'm not a unique threat. Everybody does this. If I do something for my kid, my son-in-law, whatever, look, Joe Biden does the same thing. I get it, but this was a selfish move by Biden, which politically only strengthens Trump. It's just deflating.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in what he is saying right there, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it was a very selfish move. He only cares about his family now and not his political career anymore, so he can do whatever he wants, and that's how it is.
James Comer, do you believe other Biden family members committed crimes? And do you believe that a new attorney general, if they are upholding the law, it would be within their jurisdiction to go forward with indictments? And what about Joe Biden himself?
I believe two other Biden family members definitely and knowingly committed crimes. In addition to Hunter Biden, you have Jim Biden and Joe Biden. Joe Biden obstructed my and Chairman Jordan's investigations. He lied multiple times. He lied about his knowledge and involvement. We had sworn testimony from Bob Alinsky and Devin Archer that said that Joe Biden knew all along what was going on. He was selling the brand, his brand. He was selling access to our enemies around the world, and he lied just like Jim Jordan said in the debate about the laptop, and he lied when he said he wasn't going to pardon his son. So, yes, Joe Biden, in my opinion, has committed crimes. Jim Biden, we saw he took in all these loans
That's some very, very strong accusation right there. So the whole family is involved. The whole family is crooked. The whole Biden family has committed crime. And they are gonna protect themselves. By pardoning his son, he's basically protecting himself as well, removing all the charges.
He didn't pay any interest, didn't pay any principal, had no loan documentation. At what point do those loans become income they never paid taxes on? And by the way, why did he get those loans? What was he doing? Now, all the people that wired money to the Bidens were shady characters, either adversaries or people that were in trouble, needing assistance, needing a prosecutor fired, needing a pardon. They were needing something from Joe Biden, the big guy.
Wow, that's some very, very strong revelation, very strong accusation. I hope you learned something new today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this case in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Click right here to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.